We need to discuss your future at this company, Mr. Harrison. I sat across from my father-in-law in his executive office. Richard Chun, Senior Vice President. My boss, technically. Also, the man who'd been telling my wife for 3 years that I'd never amount to anything. He leaned back in his chair. You've been here 5 years. Same position. I don't see growth potential. I nodded. Stayed silent. My daughter deserves better. A man who can provide. He slid a document across his desk. I'm recommending your termination. 2 weeks severance. I looked at the letter. My name is at the top. His signature at the bottom. Then I picked up my phone. Forwarded one email to his company account. Subject: Board meeting, tomorrow 9 a.m. Mandatory. Sender: David Harrison, Chairman and CEO. Richard's computer chimed. He glanced at his screen. His face changed. What is this? Read it, I said. Then we'll discuss my future here. My name is David Harrison. I'm 34, and I've been lying to my wife since we met. 5 years ago, my father died and left me Harrison Global Industries. 15 companies. $340 million revenue. $1.2 billion valuation. I was 29. No interest in being a public CEO. So I hired management, stayed anonymous as chairman, and took a quiet role at Chin Technologies, one of our subsidiaries. That's where I met Sarah, Richard Chin's daughter. Marketing. Smart, beautiful. We dated. I never told her who I really was. Richard saw a junior employee making $85,000. Not the man who owned his company and paid his $380,000 salary. We got married 3 years ago. Small wedding. I kept my wealth hidden. Modest house. Normal car. Let her family think I was struggling. Richard made it clear from day one. At our wedding, you'll need to work harder. I know your salary. It's not impressive. For 3 years, I've listened to lectures about ambition and career growth. He's recommended me for promotions I'd have to approve as chairman. I quietly blocked them. Last month, Richard started pushing Sarah to reconsider our marriage. He's never going to be successful. Yesterday, she asked if I was happy being stuck. Time to end the lie. Year 1. Thanksgiving at Richard's house. He talked about his career, his corner office. Then turned to me. David, what is it you do again? Operations analyst. He laughed. Right. Every company needs worker bees. Year 2. Richard's promotion party. He introduced me to colleagues as my son-in-law, who works somewhere in the company. Entry level. Before I could speak, he added, he shuffles papers. Nothing strategic. Year 3. Last Christmas. Richard pulled me aside. Sarah's pregnant. That $85,000 won't cut it. I can put in a word for promotion, but you need to prove yourself. I was already running board meetings, but I said nothing. Last month, family dinner. Richard announced a major acquisition. The chairman approved my proposal. I'm finally getting executive recognition. Sarah looked at me. Maybe you should ask Dad for career advice. I nodded. While Richard talked about impressing a chairman he'd never met, who was sitting across from him. Yesterday, Richard called me to his office. David, I'm being direct. 5 years, same role. Sarah's watching friends marry doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs. He pushed papers forward. I'm recommending your termination. 2 weeks severance. You need a wake-up call. I read the letter. Sarah agreed to this. She understands tough love. If I contest. He smiled. You're at will. I'm senior VP. Who will the company believe? I stood. Pulled out my phone. Sent the board meeting email. His computer chimed. He read the sender's name. Smile faded. This is a mistake. Check the signature. He scrolled. Read. David Harrison, Chairman and CEO. Face went pale. This is a joke. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Boardroom. I picked up his termination letter. I'll be reviewing all personnel recommendations, including this. I walked out. I went home. Sarah was making dinner. How was work? Interesting. Your father and I discussed my future. Good. He's trying to help. We'll talk after tomorrow. That evening, my phone exploded. Richard. Other executives. General counsel asking if the meeting was real. I responded only to the lawyer. Yes. 9 morgens. Full board. Richard called 4 times. First message, call me immediately. Second, if you've hacked systems, there will be consequences. Third, I'm calling the chairman's office directly. Fourth, hours later, voice shaking. The assistant confirmed it. David, please. We need to talk. I didn't call back. Sarah asked why I wasn't answering her father. He's upset. He'll understand tomorrow. I spent that evening reviewing Richard's file. His blocked promotions. His decision to terminate me, his son-in-law, from my own company. By morning, I was ready. That night, I reviewed what I'd built while playing a struggling employee. Company valuation, $1.2 billion. Personal net worth, $890 million. Annual income, $34 million passive, $12 million compensation. Properties, 7, including Richard's office building. The modest house, owned outright, $780,000. The normal car, paid in full. 3 others are in storage. The $85,000 salary, I paid myself for appearances. Richard made $380,000 as senior VP. I paid it, approved his bonuses, signed his office lease. For 3 years, I'd let him lecture me about ambition while running 15 companies. Let him call me a worker bee while chairing boards. Let him push Sarah to leave me while I held the power to end his career. He'd crossed the line, tried to fire me, told my wife I wasn't enough, used the position I gave him to destroy my marriage. Tomorrow, Richard would learn who ran Harrison Global. Sarah would learn who she married. I prepared documents for the board meeting. Organizational chart. David Harrison, 100% equity, chairman and CEO. Richard's file, hired 4 years ago. $380,000 salary. Recent action, attempted termination of the chairman. My resume, MBA Stanford. Built 2 companies, sold for $340 million. Inherited Harrison Global at 29. Grew from $800 million to $1.2 billion in 5 years. Marriage certificate. David Harrison married Sarah Chun. Confidential per chairman's privacy policy. Richard's termination letter for me. Lack of ambition. I drafted a board statement. Resuming public duties as chairman. Identity confidential for 5 years for personal reasons. Richard Chen's personnel recommendation is under review for abuse of authority. I called Richard's wife. Told her to attend. She'd understand tomorrow. Everything ready. The truth would come out in front of everyone who mattered. Sarah woke early. Found me in a suit. Why are you dressed like that? Board meeting. You don't attend board meetings. I do today. Dad called me 6 times. He sounds scared. What happened? He tried to fire me yesterday. Her face went pale. What? Said I wasn't progressing. That you deserve better. I didn't know he'd. You said I needed a wake-up call. Silence. I said you seem stuck. Not that he should fire you. What happens at 9 a.m. is the truth. I grabbed my briefcase. We'll talk tonight. You're scaring me. Good. Your father should be scared too. I left her in the kitchen. In 2 hours, she'd understand. 9 to Morgens. Executive boardroom. 12 members are seated. Richard at the far end, pale. His wife was beside him, confused. I took the head seat. Empty for 5 years. David, what are you doing? Richard asked. Starting the meeting. I opened my laptop. I am David Harvison, chairman and CEO. I've been anonymous for 5 years. That ends today. Several board members nodded. Others looked shocked. First slide. Ownership structure. I hold 100% equity. Inherited 5 years ago. Richard went white. Second slide. This is Richard Chun, Senior VP Operations. $380,000 salary. Also my father-in-law. He doesn't know I'm chairman. Until now. His wife looked between us. Third slide. Yesterday, Mr. Chun recommended my termination. Reason, lack of ambition. I displayed his letter. He tried to fire the chairman for not being ambitious enough. Someone laughed nervously. Mr. Chun also told my wife I'm not successful enough, that she should leave me. He's pressured her for 3 years because my $85,000 operation salary isn't impressive. I looked at Richard. That $85,000 was pocket change. My actual compensation is $12 million annually. Net worth, $890 million. I've been signing your paychecks while you told me I'm not good enough for your daughter. Richard couldn't speak. This company is worth $1.2 billion. I grew it from $800 million while you lectured me about career growth. You blocked my promotions because you wanted to keep me in my place. I closed the laptop. You're not terminated yet, but you're on a performance review for abuse of authority and attempted wrongful termination of the CEO. Everyone filed out. Richard stayed, his wife beside him. I stopped at the door. That corner office? I own the building. Your parking space? My property. Your career? My decision. I went home at noon. Sarah's car is in the driveway. She was on the couch, staring at her phone. Mom called. She was at the board meeting. Her voice shook. She said to the chairman, "That you own everything." I sat across from her. "It's true. You're lying." I showed her the documents. Bank statements. Everything. She read them. "You've been lying for 5 years. I kept my identity private. You let my father humiliate you, call you a failure. You let me believe we were struggling. We weren't struggling. I thought we were normal." Her voice broke. "We were. I just had money you didn't know about. My father tried to fire you from your own company. Do you know how humiliating this is? He tried to end my career and marriage. How is that my fault?" She stared like I was a stranger. Richard didn't return to work. Medical leave. Sarah stayed with her parents. We spoke twice, both times asking why I hid it. "I wanted to know you loved me, not my money. You made a fool of my family. Your father made a fool of himself." Sarah filed for divorce. Couldn't trust me. Couldn't forgive the deception. I didn't fight it. Gave her a settlement that made her wealthy. Richard resigned. Took a position elsewhere. We don't speak. I'm still running Harrison Global. Publicly now. Business is better than ever. I don't regret revealing the truth, but I regret how it ended. Sometimes I think about what would have happened if I told her from the start. But I didn't. Now I'm alone. Successful. Wealthy. Alone. The empire is mine. The family I tried to build is gone. If you're keeping secrets, thinking you're protecting yourself, testing people, here's what I learned. You can't build a real relationship on a fake foundation. I hid my success to make Sarah love me for me. But by hiding it, I never gave her the chance to love the real me, the complete me. I let her father humiliate me for 3 years. Let her doubt our future. Let her believe I was failing when I was succeeding beyond anything her father would achieve. When the truth came out, it destroyed everything. Because truth delivered as revenge isn't the same as truth shared with trust. Richard got what he deserved. But then I went home to an empty house. Sarah deserved better. A husband who trusted her enough to be honest. Who didn't let her father mock him just to make the reveal dramatic. I won the battle. Lost the war. If you're hiding who you are, your success, your struggles, your truth, ask yourself why. If it's to test people, to engineer some perfect reveal, stop. The reveal won't feel as good as you think. And the cost might be everything you were trying to protect. I never told my wife I owned the empire where her father worked. I thought I was being clever, testing her love. I was building a marriage on lies. When the truth came out, the marriage couldn't survive. Know your worth. Be honest about who you are. Don't hide your success to test people, because you might win the argument and lose everything else.